Hi, my name's Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to focus on Middle East seed capital investors, and this is a series of videos on investor profiles that are part of my Middle East fundraising database. The guide to Middle East capital includes the following. It has 325 company names, key contacts, the type of business, sectors of potential investment interest, websites, company emails, key contact emails, and key outreach strategy points. And the database will be delivered in Excel spreadsheet format. Some key database statistics: about 185 or 57% of the companies are based in the UAE, 60 companies are based in Saudi Arabia, and 125 companies are either venture capital, private equity, or angel investor groups, so that's about 40%. This is the best database for first-time fundraising in the Middle East. This video highlights Madea investments in Saudi Arabia, and they are one of 325 venture capital, private equity, angel groups, and investment companies in my exclusive Middle East fundraising database. Company snapshot: they're based in Saudi Arabia, and they're classified as an investment company and a private equity firm. Their company focus is on technology, fintech, and private equity opportunities. Madea is a private equity firm headquartered in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Investor approach and strategy: Madea Investment Company, a leading private equity firm headquartered in Riyadh, is dedicated to fostering growth in Middle East-based businesses. Their hands-on approach goes beyond traditional investment, actively participating in the boards of partner companies. Through an extensive network and collaborative efforts with management teams, they unlock unique values that contribute to the success of their portfolio. Company expertise: Madea Investment Company specializes in diverse sectors with a focus on companies aligned with the Vision 2030 goals of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. From Saudi Arabia-focused tourism with Ajwaad Tours to innovative concierge medical services through Smartmed, their portfolio spans corporate daycare, events management, digital marketing, e-commerce, manufacturing, fintech, parenting ventures, and creative communications. Geographic reach: as a Saudi company deeply rooted in Vision 2030, Madea Investment Company aligns its investment strategy with the growth of businesses in the Middle East, particularly those seeking to access the Saudi Arabian market. And here are a few of their previous investments. Potential investment opportunities to approach them with: you're going to see a little bit further on in this video, I have an Excel sheet with all 325 companies, and what I've done for each of them is actually try to identify 3 targets that you might want to approach the companies for. And I explain a little bit more in detail how I do it, but basically it's by using information on their website, their previous investments that they might be linked to via press releases, and other groups that are in the same space as they are. So although they may not be sectors that they want to invest in today or tomorrow, they're ones that you may want to look at for future opportunities. So given their past investment patterns and existing philosophy, you might want to propose the following investment opportunities to this group: private equity, healthcare, financial services, and fintech. One of the key benefits of my database is that it includes tips for investor outreach, and this is what makes it unique. There is no other database like this, and this is the best database for first-time fundraising in the Middle East. So I created it specifically for that purpose and spent a lot of time making sure that there were some key touch points for you to use in your first outreach. So for example, in this case, if you knew who the contact was, and in the database that you're going to see a little bit further on, I've got not only junior contacts but senior contacts such as CEOs and chairmen. But let's say you do know who you're contacting. A key outreach touch point could say, Embracing Mada Investments' vision for regional prosperity, we offer an opportunity that aligns with your philosophy of sustainable investment. So if you put that in the body of your email, they're going to know that this is not just a spam email. And again, you should never spam this database. It's way too valuable, way too senior, and way too sophisticated for spamming investment opportunities. Now, let's say you do not know who the contact is, and that could be just because they're not listed on the website or it hasn't been identified yet. Now, my website has over 470 contacts. That includes info at, but it also includes associates, investment advisors, directors, CEO, chairmans, partners, you name it. There's a lot of potential contacts there. But in the event that you do not want to approach, let's say, a chairman in the first case, and you shouldn't unless you've already started to move up the ladder, you could use a email like this. And by the way, I've got info at, I've got many HR contacts, so these are great to send to them. And it could say exploring ventures with Mada Investment Company, and your key email approach line may include, we're looking for opportunities that could be of mutual interest. Who can guide us further? Really simple, isn't it? But the reality is many people don't use these type of approaches when they send emails. They'll send their pitch deck. They'll send that investment opportunity for that $100,000 or $100 million property or hotel or development project without actually using any lead in to who they should contact. So by doing this, if whoever receives this email, it could be at their admin, it could be their HR department, they're going to do one of two things with that email. They're probably going to look at it, pass it on to whoever they should be in, that should be the next point of contact, or they may actually give you that contact and say, here's the person, here's their email. Now, the benefit of doing that is if you get their information, it's great because it starts to build relationships with these companies. And it's really important when you're doing fundraising in the Middle East that you build relationships throughout the channels. That's why you start at associate levels, at investment advisors and directors, before you start to send your information up to CEO, chairman, and partners. And it's really important. You'll get more traction that way on your message. Remember, you want to create a database of key contacts at many levels because people do come and go in companies, especially at the junior levels. And this allows you to explore the focus of the company. The best people to understand the process and how their fundraising presentation system is by doing it at the lower levels. Again, associates, investment advisors, directors are great people to communicate with. And then when you're ready to pitch the big project, you could include them and CEOs and chairmen. When I was working in the Middle East, I helped develop our company database, and we made sure that we had these touch points at these different levels. Now, we were working on behalf of ultra high net worth groups and companies, and we were presenting real estate assets both on the buy side and the sell side. So we worked on both sides, anywhere from $50 million to $250 million projects. So these weren't low level stuff. So we had to learn the process of how a company worked, because if we were just to send a presentation for a $100 million development project or resort, or maybe something in an international property based on what they've purchased before, we send it to their chairman or their CEO, they're going to kick it right down to somebody at a lower level. So it's best that you work your way up. You'll gain a lot more respect with the company, and it'll make it a lot more easier once it comes time for you to pitch those bigger projects. That's the best strategy for you to use when you're marketing your projects to Middle East clients. So let's take a look at the database. So now we're over on the database section, and this is the Excel spreadsheet that includes all the contacts in the Middle East capital database. And as you can see on the very top, we've got 325 companies. We have their country, description of the firm, their main business interests, their websites, and they've all been verified. And of course, this database will be suitable for all of 2024. I also have included their investment targets, 1 and 2 and 3. So those are based on information that is publicly known, information that is on their websites of different investments and types of sectors that they will look at. So again, this database is really meant for people who are building a larger data set of Middle East companies to either approach for funding or to possibly promote their products to, because there's a blend of venture capital, private equity, family investment offices, and investment companies, and high-profile companies in the UAE that are led by UAE nationals. So it's a really great database for companies that really want to get a very good look at some of the key parties in the Middle East when it comes to raising capital. It also has their investment territory, which includes whether they're just looking at either the Middle East or whether they're looking MENA or whether they're looking global. I've also included their key real estate assets. If they're investment companies that tend to look at real estate, I've included those as well in this database. Now, it also has, as far as key touch points, it has their company emails, and in some cases it's not available because they want you to actually submit your details via their forum. But I'll get to the key stats a little bit later on, and you also saw that in the initial slide presentation. Telephone numbers and contact numbers. There are two what I call primary contacts, and then there's a third, which is the secondary contacts. The key contacts could include CEOs, managing directors, executive directors, and that is the same with the second contact data. You can see operations manager, directors of real estate, presidents, and so on and so on. And the main reason for that is so that you have a senior contact that you can reach out to. You can also check them on LinkedIn to get more details. In many cases, their email addresses have already been included, and I'm going to get to that again when we go to the stats page. And the third email contact tends to be somebody in HR, and the reason I've done that is because this database is very unique in the fact that I include outreach approach tips for each of these firms. There are two types. One is a outreach touch point if you know who the contact is. In other words, if it's been already identified by myself, then you could send them a line that I've included here in all the companies. For example, Saudi has a strong track record in urban development in Kuwait. Would you be interested in a unique investment opportunity that complements your portfolio? And the reason I include these is to help people write their first letters, and also to show you that you should not be spamming this type of list with just a generic email approach talking about your company and the investment opportunity. This allows you to add a little bit of information about them, so whoever receives it is going to know that you did a little bit of work, and it should not be considered as spam. And the second reason here is I've got contact sourcing outreach approach, and this is if you do not know who the contact is. And this is really key because in some cases you may not have a contact, and this is the perfect way for you to introduce yourself. For example, in this case, I put subject request for direct contact with investment division, and then as the body of the email may include, I believe you might be the right person to assist me. We're exploring potential investment opportunities that align with Salia's investments vision. Could you direct us to the person or team responsible for evaluating such opportunities? And you can see as I scroll down here, it is included in that type of line. They're all customized, of course. The same with the ones for the direct contacts that are known. They actually talk about something the company has done, something they've invested in, the sectors, or possibly what their company vision is. And this is really going to help you, especially if you're doing first-time fundraising, or if you just want to save time when it comes to your research for these type of firms. That's what makes this database unique. Another thing that makes it unique is it really sticks to mainly the type of companies that are either venture capital, private equity, investment companies. So there's no fluff in here. There's no companies in here that should not be in here. And that is the difference between this database and other databases that are out there that talk about investments and reaching out to other investors. For example, there's very little here when it comes to accelerators. There might be a couple of them, but it's not plugged full of what I would call just garbage contacts. These are really key companies that are perfect for reaching out to, whether you're raising funds or whether you want to present opportunities, whether it's real estate, investment opportunities, and the like. So let's take a look at some of the stats. So the underlying stats are there's 470 firms, 340 prime contacts, 90 third-tier contacts, and 90 email contacts when it comes to the third tier. So you're getting about 400 and a little over 450 emails, and the total company emails are 275. So those would be info at, admin at, that sort. So that's a really key overview of the database. Again, this is going to be a series where I'm going to highlight each of the contacts. For more information on this database, contact www.dubaiinvestorslist.com. That's dubaiinvestorslist.com. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe.